sleep or stay awake and stay interested. It's up to you. Now, these chubby cheeks are gonna tell you what you want to know. I have gained like 20 pounds since I got married, and it is so visible to me because I'm so peculiar about my weight since I lost like 60 pounds after high school. So I keep a special eye on my weight, and after the wedding, you know, Easter came, candy, gifts, and we spent the gifts eating out, going on dates, whatever. So I am just full in the face. My face is super chubby, and usually it's not. So ignore my extra fat, extra face, extra skin, and just listen to the story. So I was in middle school at the time, and this girl, we'll call this girl Angelica. Angelica, if you're watching this and if you recognize the story time, girl, I have no ill will towards you. I'm just disappointed. Anyways, so let's get into the story because yes, so Angelica was a short, because keep in mind I'm 5'7". What? 5'7". At the time I was 5'7". I'm 5'9.5" now, but I was 5'7", and this girl was, I don't know, like maybe 5 foot. Very, very, very short. Anyway, Angelica had blonde hair. It was like shoulder length, super thin blonde hair, and she had like scabs all over her body because she had like a skin disorder, skin disease or whatever, which would make her pick at her skin, or it would, I don't know, like it would, like she would pick at her skin a lot, therefore she had scabs. Now, she wasn't the most popular girl in the world. She was shorter, you know, she had a skin condition, and her hair was super thin, and I think that was part of her skin condition. Like her hair thinning was a part of her skin condition, as far as I remember, because Angelica and I were cool. We were friends. Like I was friends with pretty much everybody in my middle school. I didn't have bad blood with anybody. I was just cool with everybody. I was one of the funny people who were in theater, who were in basketball, so it really wasn't like, you know, girl eat girl popular, you know, whatever. I was popular, but just I was well known. So anyways, yes, Angelica, you know what she looks like. You guys know what I look like. Just imagine me like 10 years younger at this point, because I was like 12 and I'm turning 21 in a month. So yeah, it's about 10 years ago. But yeah, I was 12, and I had met Angelica in class because we had our first class together in 6th grade. And in 6th grade, I believe you're 10 or 11. And then in 7th grade, you're 11 or 12 or 12. And some people even 13, but by 8th grade, you're supposed to be 13, 14. So, Angelica and I had already met because we had like advisory, which is just like it's just like a homework advisory class where you catch up on work, eat, chill, do whatever, basically, in between your lunch period and a class. So Angelica and I, we already were cool, like we'd known each other, simple introductions, and I think we even had a math class together in 6th grade. And then we had math class together in 6th grade, and then we had advisory, I believe, in 7th grade. But regardless, one of these days, Angelica and I ended up talking in class or something, and she had mentioned that she didn't have anybody to eat lunch with, and I ate lunch with my best friend at the time, and a bunch of people that I was cool with in my other classes, and we were all cool. Whether they went to my elementary school and my middle school, and we had known each other a long time. I had made friends with people in my middle school at the time, so I was pretty much just inviting whomever to eat lunch. And I know that we barely had any seats because our table was crowded. I don't know if y'all remember those middle school long tables. It's like 2 tables next to each other, and then there's just rows in the cafeteria. We had a stage on the cafeteria, the rows of the tables, and then we had water fountains, and you could walkway into some of a lunch line, and then there was like stairs, and then the hallway was where you would go to classes. So hallway, lunchroom, and then everything else over there. Anyway, so our table was jam-packed. As I let you guys know, I wasn't like the most popular girl at school, but I was definitely like well-known, so I had a lot of friends because I was so active. I was in theater, I was in track, I was in basketball, I played tennis, I played soccer outside of school, but you know, I was cool with people who played soccer at school. Like, during, not recess, during athletic period. And yeah, so basically this girl started sitting with us, Angelica, and I was like, I don't really understand why Angelica doesn't have any friends. Like, she's pretty cool. I mean, I understand, like, it's a little gross, like, her skin condition, and I'm just being blunt and honest. Nobody wants to sit with somebody who's picking at their scabs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm popping my pimples, I'm not going to expect people to eat lunch with me. It's just like there's things you do in a time and a place. And if you're somebody who can't control what you're doing, or, you know, you have a condition, you just have to expect sometimes people aren't going to want to be around you. That's just what it is. So I'm telling you like it is. I'm like, I get that it can be gross sometimes, but why are people, like, not gravitating towards her so much? So I start getting a little bit more one-on-one time with Angelica and seeing how she interacts with the lunch group at lunch and stuff. And I notice Angelica's lying a little bit because I know her pretty decently at this point. I'm not going to say we're besties or nothing, but I definitely knew her face value. And, like, she would just tell bald-faced lies. And I'm like, Angelica, what are you talking about? So I wouldn't say anything in the moment, but I would kind of just like, okay, mental note, Angelica be lying. So I already knew, push come to shove, if I were to accuse this girl of being a liar, everybody would take my side because I invited her into my crew. These are all my friends sitting around her who are just tolerating her for the time being or getting used to her sitting with us, because she only sat with us for, I think, a week in this whole story time period. Now, I know this story is probably giving like a Mean Girl a little bit, and I don't even doubt that. It could even qualify as bullying, Mean Girl behavior, you know, snooty, popular girl behavior, whatever. I just don't like liars. So I was coming down to get to the truth and see why this girl doesn't have any friends. And now, meanwhile, I was cool with everybody. I even stayed cool with Angelica after the situation. I just told her I didn't like how she was lying, and she kind of just like ixnayed herself out of my life. And that's what people who are snakes or liars do. They don't know what to do when they've been caught, so they freak out. Now, I just want you to know, I'm going to tell this story as it exactly happened. If you think I'm a mean girl after this, you may, because it was kind of mean girlish for me to corner her, but also I get down to business. So let's see where the story goes. I caught on to her lies, and I was like, let me figure out for sure if this girl's lying, because I don't need to just say she's a liar, stop sitting with us. Everybody's already going to take my side. We're already squeezing in one too many people at the lunch, two too many people at the lunch table. Might as well, you know, get her out another way. So this wasn't like a force to get her out. This is just something I personally didn't like about her, so I didn't really want to sit with her anymore. But this actually also reminds me of a story. My best friend at the time, who I mentioned earlier, I didn't even give him a name, but let's call him John. John, one time in that year, or one of the years, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, he invited his friend, let's call him Bill. John invited Bill to sit with us at lunch. Bill was the most boring mother I've ever met. Like, he was so boring. He was so, it was like painful eating lunch with him. It was like, you really just said that, huh? But anyways, forget John and Bill for right now. That's a whole other bag of worms I'm not even gonna get into. I wanted to see what was up with this Angelica girl, so I devised a plan. I started telling my friends who I normally sit with at lunch, I said, look, I think this chick is lying. And it wasn't no whisper behind her back. She just simply wasn't around, and I was talking to them in passing periods or right before lunch. For instance, my best friend, I distinctly remember before walking up to, well, we met up in the hallway to walk to lunch together, and I distinctly remember, I said, Angelica's been lying, and I know for sure. And he's like, really? And he's known Angelica about the same time as I have, because I'm pretty sure they have class together. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's been lying, and we're gonna catch her. I'm gonna make up a place that I went for dinner with my family, and you all just go along with it. And she's gonna probably say she's been there before, knowing dang well I just made up the place. We'll catch her in a lie. Boom, it's over. So homeboy, you know, John is like, bad, you know, we're gonna expose her, you know, find out what is what. And again, none of this was malicious. It was never like, oh, you know, you're a liar. It was just kind of like, why are you lying to us? We're supposed to be friends. You should be 100 all the time. Especially if we're eating lunch together, you know what I'm saying? We're being all buddy with you, and you're just lying to us. So John's on board. John tells, you know, other friends, Curly, Sue, and Jillian, and then I go and tell everybody else, you know, Peter and Susie. So everybody's in the know, except Angelica. And so I go to lunch. And y'all know me, I'm in basketball, I'm in theater, I'm keen on performance. Performance is what I do. So I said, where is this place gonna be? Where did I go eat with my family? Angelica, what is she gonna believe? Did XYZ? And then it came to me. Lobster lose. Lobster lose. Because I was thinking Red Lobster, Papados, Cracker Barrel, Trader Joe, all these places. There are names in the titles, but food is in the title. Lobster, 2 L words, Lou, Lobster Lose was born 10 seconds before I walked up to the table. So here goes my final act, and I go, hey everybody, how y'all doing? Yeah, jokey jokes, good time. Yeah, I can't believe we had to work out so hard in athletics. It was crazy. They had us running all over the place. You failed that test in math too? So Angelica, what did you do last night? Oh really? Yeah, that's nice, Angelica. I went to Lobster Lose with my family. You ever been to Lobster Lose? Oh, you have? You've been to Lobster Lose? Oh, I love it there. Do y'all love it there? Has anybody else been to Lobster Lose? You have? Oh, Susie, yeah. Oh, I love the pink lobster. Have you had the pink lobster? Oh my God, yes. And those mashed potatoes, they're to die for. Oh, that's your favorite course, Angelica? Angelica? So, basically, I start going on and on about this food. And I start adding colors to the food. I start getting a little bit outrageous with it, a little crazy with it. Because at some point, it's going to become unbelievable. And she's still going to be lying and agreeing. So I go, oh yeah, my favorite course is the orange salmon, and the green mashed potatoes. Angelica goes, oh yeah, I love that course. I've had it like 1,000,000 times. I looked her dead in her eyes. I was like, oh really, 1,000,000? She goes, yeah, my family and I go to Lobster Lose all the time. I said, really, your family and you go to Lobster Lose all the time? And I started looking over to everybody else, and I'm like, are y'all hearing this? Have you ever heard of Lobster Lose? Have you ever heard of Lobster Lose? Because I haven't, because I just made it up right before we got out here. So I'm confused at this point. I'm like, okay, is Lobster Lose real that I don't know about? And I'm like, surely not, I just made it up. So I look at Angelica and I'm like, this girl's for sure lying. And it's not even me being crazy and delusional and paranoid and a mean girl. I'm like actually catching her in a lie that I set her up to be caught in. And I'm like, okay, Angelica, what's your favorite course on the menu? All-time favorite. Ride or die. She's like, the blue crawfish. And I was like, the blue crawfish? That's not even anything on the menu. I've been there 99 times. I was just there last night. Angelica, it's not on the menu. And she's like, oh, I meant the green crawfish. Blue lobster. And I was like, oh, the blue lobster, I love that one. Yeah, I'm totally on board with you now. The blue lobster's my fave. Yeah, you probably just got them mixed up because there's so many colors and variations of the fish. But don't worry, Angelica. We've all been to Lobster Lose, right, guys? We love it there. Except Lobster Lose is fake. Yeah, Angelica, it's fake. What? She looks at me. Her eyes, they've like disappeared into the back of her head. Her face has gone paler than it's ever been before, but it's already super pale. And she's like, what do you mean Lobster Lose is fake? I said, you tell me, what do I mean? Have you ever really been to a Lobster Lose? And she's like, and I'm like, because I just made it up. I just made it up right before I came out here and sat down and had lunch with you guys. And there's 10 minutes till the bell. So what have we all been talking about for the past 10 minutes? I just made up Lobster Lose. I told all them that I made up Lobster Lose. How did you know? I didn't tell you. So you were lying. And at this point, I'm going in on her a little hard. So I chill out. I tell her I tell her, what is she thinking? She's like, I'm sorry. I wanted to fit in. I wanted you guys to think that, we like the same things. And I was like, Angelica, that's cool. That's fine. You want to fit in, blah, blah. It's cool. Everybody wants to fit in. But you have to be your realest self. You have to not lie. Like, you lying to us just makes you look crazy now. Like, you look crazy to all of us. Because now we can't trust anything you say. Because you just be agreeing. You just be that agreeable person who's bobbling their head along. So, where does this put us, Angelica? I said, I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed that you've been lying and you lied about Lobster Lose. Lobster Lose isn't real. I just made it up. So, it was just awkward. It was very awkward for the next few minutes. We were all just eating, poking at our food. And at one point, the bell rang and Angelica excused herself. And she excused herself for eternity because I low-key never saw her again. I saw her in class and in passing, but she was like a ghost. Like, she would look was never trying to not be her friend or be rude by any means. But I definitely had to come with the facts and expose her in a lie, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the only lie I could have proved she was lying about without just being accusatory. So yeah, that's a pretty weird story. It's, you know, it's a pretty short story time compared to my other videos. Usually my videos are like about 30 minutes for y'all, but this was a pretty short story time. Angelica and I went through all middle school together, all high school. We did not talk. We did not have any classes in high school that I remember, that I know of. Again, even if I did, she was like a ghost after that situation. I don't know who she started eating lunch with after. I think I did see her with like the outcast kids, you know what I'm saying? Like the goth kids, the super short kids, whatever. You know, like I said, it was cool with everybody. So everybody I'm describing, I would walk up to them and hug them in the hallway or say hi to them or whatever. Because I'm not, you know, why hate on anybody? If, like, there's no reason to hate on anybody. Everybody's doing their own thing. Like, pass the love around. So, you know, I think she ended up sitting with more like the outcast kids, more her lane. I don't know if she ever took that situation to heart. I don't know if it ever like affected her mentally. I don't know if she thinks about it to this day. And at the time, I don't think she had any social medias because, again, I think she was very insecure about her appearance, as was I. Oh my God, I was so insecure in middle school. I was secure in myself and my personality, but I hated the way my face looked. I had pimples, like saucers coming off my face. My hair always looked crusty dusty because I left the braids in a little too long. And you know, I'd have to beg my mom to redo it in a certain style that I liked, and then she'd kind of do a similar style and it wouldn't be anything like I envisioned. So it's just so, yeah. In middle school and high school, I was going through several things. After I stopped playing basketball, I got depressed because I tore my ACL and I gained like 50 pounds. I went from being like 165, 170 max in 5'9" to being 205, 206 when I weighed myself after graduation or whatever. So I had to lose all that weight, and then I got down to 145, and then I just recently gained 20 pounds because I got married to Nick, and the wedding vlog is vlog number 56 if you guys want to check that out. And Nick and I got a bunch of stuff for our wedding gifts, like money, gift cards, and we have been eating out, you know what I'm saying, treating ourselves, trying to keep our savings intact for Jasmine, our baby. So I've been just eating stuff in my face, especially when it's takeout, and I don't want it to get old for the next time, just stuff my face. So yeah, I've been getting mad chubby lately, so I'm gonna try to work on it. You know, I've been slimming on the vlogs because I've been not having much to vlog about. I guess I could vlog about my weight loss next, but you know, I don't know. Anyways, I did my hair to achieve this curly kind of outlook. All you have to do is braid up sections, like braid up these sections, one big braid, braid up this section, one big braid, and do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let it dry. So moisten it, braid it up, let it dry, unbraid it, and then you get these curls like a mushroom top. And I think it looks good here. You can see it in the white. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. That's a Mean Girl Sit in Middle School for you. Let me know what you think of the story, and I hope you guys had a good time. Bye, pickles. I'll see y'all in the next ASMR.